All right, let's quickly take you through the markets the week of September 18 to 20, September 18 to 22 actually. So a combination, I'm starting from home, and that so a combination of stability and volatility on the Nigerian stock market. Investors' reactions to President Tinubu's choice in Cardoso as the new CBN governor gave some kind of positive emotions at the start of the week. Over the course of last week, companies including O&O and Access Holdings released favorable half-year results. The highly anticipated 293rd Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which was initially planned for Monday and Tuesday, September 25 and 26, 2023, has been postponed, and that came in from the Central Bank of Nigeria last week. But we saw that blue chip companies, shares of blue chip companies experienced a mixed trading week. The market optimism faded at the end of the week. In all, the market capitalization and all share index declined by 0.11% to end the week at 67,324.59 points and 36.847 trillion naira respectively. Now, the final trade week for September 2023 will be this week. So just a few days to the end of the third quarter as we begin our journey into the final quarter of the year as we all begin to prepare for end-of-year festivities. But moving over to the money market, interbank rates significantly decreased as a result of the system's return to positive liquidity, which came through Shopee payments made to various states through the Apex Bank and coupon payments. Further reduction in rates is anticipated as a result of the coupon inflows. The market for treasuries traded with fluctuating liquidity and mixed emotions. The long end of the curve, especially the August and September bills, was the focus last week. The benchmark yield on average increased by 55 basis points week on week to 7.42% before the primary market auction, which is scheduled for Wednesday this week. We saw a peaceful session, and that peaceful and calm session is still anticipated this week in that market. For the FGM bonds market, it was quiet but had a bullish vibe. The MPC meeting, which I mentioned earlier, was originally scheduled for today and tomorrow but has been postponed. According to a statement from the Central Bank of Nigeria, a new date will be announced soon, and I hope it will be announced soon because it is also in the CBN Act of 2007. For the CBN to conduct monetary policy meetings and to announce those decisions publicly. The news of Michael Cardoso's appointment as CBN governor, along with the possibility that the Fed will maintain current interest rates at the FOMC meeting, led to strong emotions on the FGN Eurobond market last week. For this morning, we saw that U.S. stock futures fell, indicating that the markets will end the month with significant losses. We have what we call the September slump in the markets. Let's see how that goes at the end of this week. But you know that I told you last week also that majority of the central banks across the world had their policy meetings, that's monetary policy meetings, and we saw that from the U.S. Fed, the BOE, as well as the Bank of Japan. We were expecting Nigeria's monetary policy meeting today and tomorrow. Let's see what happens since Cardoso and his deputies have resumed. And a lot of people are saying that the president also jumped the gun here in terms of Cardoso and his deputies starting work before confirmation by the Senate. Let's see how that goes, though. But during my interview, we'll be talking about that. U.S. investors are also keeping a close eye on developments in Washington towards a budget settlement. Over the weekend, we saw that lawmakers showed little advance towards a deal that will fund the federal government for the rest of the fiscal year. If we move over to the European markets, they started lower today with all sectors down. On Monday, Japanese stocks were the sole gainers among major Asian indexes, with both the Nikkei 225 and the Topix in positive territory despite a larger sell-off. Now in the currencies market, it's not a good one for the Nigerian naira. And the Nigerian foreign exchange market, the naira to the dollar strengthened as at Friday last week to print at 747 naira 76 kobo. But this morning, just before I came into the studio, I had to take another look at the parallel market and see what the naira is doing. Just before I came into the studio, I saw about 988 naira. We saw last week that the naira was close to 1,000 naira, if it did not even hit it actually, but we're seeing a kind of retreat now, and that is not good news at all for this country. At what point did we get here? At what point? The last 8 years indeed was a disaster for this economy, and it seems that, we're just still on that roller coaster road. Roller bumps. Is it bumps really? Or we don't even enter? Anyway, all prices gained on Monday as investors focused on a tighter supply outlook following Moscow's temporary suspension on gasoline exports while staying cautious of more rate hikes, which might depress demand. For gold, today it eked out a small gain. At Elytra, spot gold is down to about 1,922 US dollars an ounce. All right, let's quickly take a break. And when we return, Nigeria economy in the focus again. So many things to talk about. Labour threatening indefinite strike that will seemingly shut down the economy. Labour's meeting with the federal government at deadlock. Cardoso and his deputies, now I know, have resumed at the central bank. They should be in the office right here in Abuja. What are the challenges before them? We have a debt profile of over 87 trillion naira, the fiscal deficit of Nigeria widening, inflation as well as the cost of living crisis biting harder. President Tinubu is back from his foreign trips to face domestic problems. Where do we go from here? Just like things fall apart and the center cannot hold. Can we really hold the center that is falling apart right now?